This country ruined the payphone. There are 195 countries on this planet, and lots of them lay claim to various titles. For instance, Saudi Arabia is known for their oil production. Ghana is known for their cocoa production, and Japan is known for their Kobe production. These claims to fame can really fuel the economy of a nation, and in the case of Saudi Arabia, their oil production generates $1 billion a day. Well, this isn't so much a money video. However, we will see that a lot of money was taken away because of this new technology that this Nordic country introduced to the world. When we think of the Scandinavian region, many think of Vikings and pastries. Well, something else quirky that can be added to that list is the cell phone. The cell phone? Yes, that coveted Galaxy or iPhone you spend on average 4.5 hours each day on has its technological origins in Finland. Good things come out of Finland. Why? Because year after year, they rank at the top of the happiest country in the world. And when you live in a happy place, you create cellular phones and sell a bunch of them across the globe. That's right. Do you remember the name Nokia? Interestingly enough, the company began as a pulp mill, but with great leadership along the way, ended up being a global telecom giant of the modern era. In December 1991, the GSM network developed in Finland was officially deployed, and the first GSM network call was made by then Finnish Prime Minister Harri Holkeri. This success paved the way for the Nokia 1011, the world's first commercially available GSM phone, in November of 1992. Over the next several years, Nokia would change the telecom industry and become the #1 manufacturer of cell phones globally. What really set Nokia apart from competitors like Motorola to become the leaders in the mobile telephony space was their marketing strategy. Nokia focused on catering to the consumer youth market and fashion-oriented consumers, most significantly with the Nokia 5110 and the Nokia 3210, which featured a large range of colorful and replaceable back covers called Express-On. Young consumers love trendy, and Nokia did this to the manufacturing milestone of 100 million phones by December of 1998 and sales revenue of $20 billion, $2.7 billion of which was all profit. By the end of 1999, Nokia was operating in 140 countries. It was so global that reports at the time suggested that some people believed Nokia to be a Japanese company. So, before all this success that Finland created, the world was dominated by the payphone. Located almost everywhere on this planet, as common as an iPhone is in today's world, payphones were the way to go if you were out and about and needed to make a phone call. In places like malls or stadiums, they would literally have batteries of payphones, one right beside another. These payphones even had attached yellow page directories on them. See, the IP rating that they have for phones and other technology now didn't really exist for these payphones because a lot of times they were in booths. Yes, these booths got really grungy at times, and quite frankly, I don't want to remember those times, so we'll just move on. Yearly revenue from payphones in a very public location such as the metro or airports or bus terminals could generate as much as $60,000. Not a bad number if the machines didn't need any type of service calls for repairs and such. Like I said earlier, the phones could be in bad shape, especially from foolish kids such as myself that would try to blow them up with little tiny firecrackers from the convenience store. Those were my early days of entrepreneurship. As time went on and more of society were preferring the convenience of having a phone in their pocket or in their purses, the need for public phones that took up so much space and that required service technicians no longer made sense. Pun intended. Some countries still have them in use, but according to research done for this video, the Scandinavian countries have ditched them entirely, which isn't too surprising. Quite surprisingly, however, the US still has 100,000 of them remaining. The main revenue source for these phones now is advertising, as they continue to be in public spaces. A few interesting facts about payphones. The first one I already covered, and that is payphones still exist. Fact number 2, the internet is not the only place where scammers roamed. They developed their craft through payphones, and drug dealers also got in on the parade. However, it was illegal for law enforcement to intervene unless they were granted a warrant. Fact number 3, with smartphones taking over and payphones practically becoming non-existent, some companies started repurposing payphone stations and turning them into Wi-Fi hotspots and charging stations. Link NYC was the first to do this on a broad scale, replacing over 7,500 payphones in New York City. So Finland-based Nokia brought the world a product that humanity has been served well by. But as life progresses, typically so do the tools, and for now, the saturation of payphones/phone booths are now known as Technono. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to be notified of nostalgia within the tech industry.